this here, I don't really know what is the exact answer. And I'm not so sure that any of us do, but coming in municipal lines. We are getting knocked down a considerable amount of money, so how do we, our next step? Bill, do you have any ideas of reserve it?
I've had it suggested that we join a consortium of other like towns and one manages on behalf of all kind of thing. I need to hear more about it, but it makes sense to me.
Probably does as well. I would agree.
But unfortunately, I don't have any more specific information than what I just said.
Okay, so we'll ask Mrs. Blumenthal to look into that for us, and hopefully she'll be able to give us a report as to which direction we should go.
Probably a good idea.
Okay, next, the salary resolution. Mrs. Owen and myself had a discussion, and we decided to hold it because now we have to do some interviews, and we just want to make sure that whatever we're going to do will match without having to amend the resolution. So we'll just do it in one shot. We have meeting minutes. Moving down, we have the July 1st regularly closed. We have the July 22nd, and we have the July 27th special meeting. There's two meetings. Those are the two special meetings that I was not here for. I think the one was when you had the electric out, correct? That would have been 22nd.
Do you want a motion for all of them or each of them individually?
Well, you're going to have to do them individually because the mayor wasn't here for two of them.
I'll make a motion to accept the regular and closed meetings for July 1st.
Second.
You can't second. Oh, yeah, you were there. I'm sorry.
That was it.
I voted.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's it. Well, we're not.
And make a motion for this July 22nd special meeting?
Second.
I don't know.
The 22nd and the 27th.
Okay, 22nd and the 27th. Still got your second, Mrs. Owen?
Second.
Okay.
All
Mayor's
those in favor? Aye.
Mr. Lafferty.
the mayor is abstaining.
I'm abstaining.
Right.
And Mark will abstain as well.
Okay.
Okay, aye,
Aye.
over.
Okay, next, we have the department reports, we have the animal control, we have the municipal court, and we have the tax collector. We have the July 2020 clerk's office, the fire company, the public works, and also the zoning office.
I make a motion to accept all those reports.
We gotta have some, I'll second the motion, we need some discussion around them though.
Yeah. Discussion?
Hey, Mayor, you got something to say about animal control?
What?
I heard.
You heard.
Little Angel representing the mayor said that you had something to say about cats on Fifth Avenue.
No, I don't have anything to say about cats on Fifth Avenue. I think Facebook has kind of spoken for all of us. You know, there's someone that's going around collecting monies to get these cats neutered and spayed. I think it's a great idea. Hopefully they'll be able to get them all so that the population will no longer be increasing. So other than that, let's hope that everything works out for them.
It sounds like there's a spirit in the community rising up to do something about that. That's if that's going to work, we ought to leave it to it. Municipal court. Did you have you reached out to Jim Fletcher at the county level? Mayor?
Jim Ferguson?
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah, I spoke to, I actually spoke to the court administrator from Mays Landing. I also spoke to Jerry Del Rosso. I gave him my feeling on it, and I said, yes, we're definitely on board with the consolidated report. I had indicated that it's costing us money. I had actually made some suggestions that they thought was some rather very good common sense suggestions. I said, I think it's going to be rather very, very difficult to do one giant regionalized court. And I had indicated that 5 municipalities that are rather very, very active. Like in Atlantic City, Pleasantville, the Harvard Township, Galloway Township, and Hamilton Township courts. I don't know how you'd be able to regionalize all of them, so I thought that maybe a good idea would be to take all the other towns and box them into one. So, looking at that, I also did have a conversation with the administrator from Hamilton. I was not highly encouraged with that one there because it seems like Hamilton is looking for an astronomical amount of money for us to send our court over. It's like, we don't even pay 30% of what they're asking.
Well, given that the invitation to discuss a consolidated county court that would presumably bring together all the smaller communities, given that originated with the executive's office, it sounds like it's worthy of pursuit. And we have, the beauty for Estell Manor is, given where we are with our court in the COVID emergency, at least with Mrs. Seelman, in discussion with Mrs. Seelman today, we're probably not going to entertain people in our courtroom again until at least January. So by then we might have some idea of what the resolution of the consolidated county court might be.
The county was looking to get a consensus from all of the mayors of the municipalities. I don't know if the response has been completed from all the mayors. I can tell you that I gave my response. I was one of the first ones that called in, and they're aware that Estell Manor definitely wants to consolidate somewhere. I think that's probably what's going to end up happening. Courts, placement of the municipalities, joining of the centralized building would be most likely where it will be. Criminal courthouse complex over there in Unami Boulevard. I think it's going to just basically fall into play on its own at this point, working on it, and they want to see the regionalized court. I am under belief that somewhere along the line, the county is being told by the, Randy, what's that called, the EOC?
The Administrative Office of the Courts.
Okay, that would be the Administrative Office of the Courts. And courts have been moving in this direction silently for a while now. They're starting to become more active with it, but sooner or later, there is.
All right.
Not going to pay the money to build up.
But if I could just add something, because I'm familiar with this consolidation issue to some extent. Municipal courts are a rare breed. You're governed by the AFC, but you're not under their jurisdiction relative to whether you exist or consolidate or don't. That's a local decision. It's a municipal decision. I think consolidation, from my perspective, makes sense because you're duplicating services all over the place. It is a trend. It's something the governor has wanted for a long time, and Governor Christie before that. So you're headed there, and the question is, how do you do it fairly?
Yep.
That's what it comes down to.
We won't have one big gigantic regionalized court. We have some rather very, very busy courts in existence, and that's the three mandated growth areas, Hamilton, Galloway, and EHT. They're full-time courts all the time.
The municipal court system in New Jersey has the highest volume of all of the courts, criminal, family, civil, all of them. As of 3 years ago, they handled approximately 7 million transactions a year. So the municipal court system is busy.
All right, so we will just be on standby at this point. I am still going to vigorously, with the help of Mrs. Owen. It's difficult to actually have a sit-down meeting with them. So we're not wanting to do that at this time. But
Well, I don't think that we need to at this point, right? We just have to say that we're interested, correct?
I have told them that.
Yes.
Okay.
Before you're on council, you're here at every one of the meetings. You kept on asking repeatedly, where are we? Why is nothing happening? Well, I think now you're starting to see why nothing's happening, because it's just a slow process, and until somebody is willing to want to step up to the plate and say, yes, we want to do this. But now Hamilton is looking for an astronomical amount of money for us to move there, and quite frankly, it's more than double what we're currently paying now for our court.
Can we move on to tax collector's report? We got a late start. Let's keep moving.
Yeah, we're almost there. You asked me questions, I gave an answer. You have the, actually, I thought that there was a motion and a second question. Is there any more questions about any of the department reports?
Fire company report. Mayor, did you send a letter out to those local volunteer fire companies that participated in fighting the fire on Cumberland Avenue in June?
Yes.
Good. Very good.
I signed all that, and to the best of my knowledge, I believe Teresa mailed them out. I came into City Hall to sign all them, letters. So, does anybody else have any, questions about any, department reports? If not, I'm gonna ask for, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Good.
Aye.
Okay. Moving on down the line here, we have, some new business. And we have a, land sale, block S8, block 1. I'm gonna turn this over to Mr. Lafferty this time.
Well, I had some questions. I don't know that I got answers to them. The one question, the question I had is what is the size of this lot? A contiguous property owner is offering to purchase it for $1,000. Depending on the size of this, first of all, you can't do a sale just like that. Depending on whether this is an undersized lot or not, that will determine what course you have to pursue.
Mr. Lafferty, that question. I'm not gonna give you the dimensions of the lot. I can tell you about the size of a postage stamp. It's very, very small.
So it is undersized.
It's very undersized. It's not a buildable lot, not even a little bit. It's grossly undersized.
Then the mechanism to do this, to sell this property, just to explain to everybody in case you don't know, the law favors the elimination of undersized lots. So if there is an undersized lot, there's a mechanism by which the municipality can offer the lot for sale to all adjacent property owners. It can't just be one single property owner. And then the lot, as soon as it's purchased by an adjacent property owner, it is consolidated with their existing lot, and therefore you eliminate the undersized lot. So what needs to be done here is, if the city is interested in selling this lot, then the mechanism that is adopt an ordinance authorizing a private sale by bid to the contiguous property owners. And the property owners get notice, the property is for sale, they can submit sealed bids, and then city council can decide whether to accept the highest bid.
And just for clarification, Mr. Lafferty,
Where is it?
there are only two owners.
Then they,
Both of them right on Route 50.
Check.
So there are no other across the street, county park. Mine would be,
that's not contiguous. If it's separated by a street, that's not contiguous.
then behind would be a paper.
Can we stipulate to a minimum price?
$1,000.
You can.
That's what this says.
I mean, our minimum price should be at least as much as it's gonna cost us to allow the transaction.
You can stipulate.
It shouldn't cost us money to sell somebody the land.
No, and you can always reject all the bids, so you have that option. But if you want to put a minimum of $1,000, which is what this gentleman is offering,
I think he's offering $1,000 because that's what the assessed value of the property is $1,000.
Okay.
So,
What's the value of the legal work around the transaction then?
It-
correct, we should incorporate that. but,
it's preparing an ordinance, and then you're going to have publication costs because you got to publish the ordinance. So it's certainly less than $1,000.
Okay,
So, you'll,
I'll prepare an ordinance for the next meeting.
figure out the prices and then we'll have it prepared for the phone.
Right.
And we probably should also send a notice to both owners if the property's going up.
Yes.
And it still has to be done by the auction process,
No.
No.
Sealed bids.
sealed bid.
Said they submit, your ordinance will specify a date for the submission of the bids. They'll submit sealed bids and you'll open them and then take action.
And the sealed bid would be opened up to the next city council meeting.
Correct.
Very good. All right, so we'll have that ready and prepared for our following meeting. Next, we have a planning board secretary advertisement that we have to put into the paper because our city clerk is also our planning board secretary. So I would say at this time that we could have a very minimal advertisement. We advertise, and I think that all of the applicants should forward an email to myself, and I'll supply all the information over to the planning board as to what we're going to do. And by the way, Mr. Lafferty, are we bound to have to do an advertisement, or could we just pick something to do that?
No, you don't have to advertise for that.
You don't have to advertise
No.
for that. So
You're not civil service.
So we could in fact just simply send an email out to all of the planning board members indicating that we have a couple of people that are interested in the position. We'll do an interview.
It's up to the planning board. They're the ones that pick the secretary.
Okay. I'll get with Rich Carlucci tomorrow and we'll have to sit down. So we'll hold all
Does council vote
no, that's done by the planning board. Planning board.
council doesn't vote it at all?
Planning board does.
Why are we talking about it?
Because we have to put in, I will think that we had to put advertisement in the paper. Okay?
Sounds like the planning board needs to run an ad.
But it's usually advertised through the city clerk. And that's, I guess, how it came to here.
Sounds like we're taking responsibility for something over which we have no authority. I hate doing that. Leave it for the planning board to do.
We don't have a secretary at the time for the planning board to be able to do it, Mr. Phillips. You don't.
That's why we have a mayor.
I'll take care of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Moving down here, we have some old business.
Wait a minute, I have some new business.
Okay, what do you have?
Please, Mrs. Owen.
Well, first and foremost, I wanted to send a shout out to Public Works, the Dilge family, and also many residents that helped out with the storm cleanup.
Here.
A lot of the residents showed up and helped. They weren't required to do that, so I really appreciate them doing that and their help for the whole entire city. So thank you so much.
Here. Community pulled together pretty well for itself. It was fun to see.
Yes.
And our fire company as well, I think, Estell Manor Fire Company.
I'm so sorry. Yes, and then also
Absolutely.
I should have
Danny
written
Collins
my
and his
speech
group,
before
yeah.
I spoke. So yes, with the
Worked
fire
together.
company also, thank you.
Worked together well. The only unfortunate part of it was that, a large part of the town was out of electric for more than 48 hours. Some were out nearly 72 hours. But that's the benefit of living in the woods.
Second is, at this time, I would like us not to sell the chipper until further notice.
You have a reason why?
We were able to get it running, and we have a lot of stuff that can be done right now because we got it running, and we don't have to go rent another machine like we have had to in the past. It may be worth seeing how well it runs now since it is running, and to postpone it at this point. Maybe.
Can I make a comment on that too? As the other head
Absolutely.
of the Public Works Committee. So, what we learned in this emergency, together with what we already knew, edicts a couple of things. Number one, if you apply it properly during a time like what the last week has been, it does the work of a couple of people as compared to trying to clear debris off the road. If you can chip it down, it does the work of another man or two, another person or two on the crew. We also would like to have the time to chip down. We're not supposed to take yard waste at the pit on dumpster days, but in prior years, prior dumpster days, we did take yard waste. We've got piles and piles of branches over there. We'd like to take the time to haul the chipper over there and chip that stuff down and get that space back in the pit. Otherwise, right now, there's still calling for, there's another storm out in the Atlantic right now that's supposed to be pretty bad at the end of next week, and they're calling for as many as 20 more named storms, 4 to 6 major hurricanes. We may need a chipper the next 6 days. So let's just hold it up a little while, see if we can use it. Those fellows pulled together well. I'll tell you, the fire company needs some younger guys. They've got some great leaders over there that do a fine job by way of example, but it'd be great if we could get some kids in there and start bringing them up. Public Works did a tough job for us. They did. It was fun. I'll tell you, anybody in the future, as this goes, as this season wears on, if we have an event like that again where there are a lot of trees down, a lot of power out, I would encourage residents to come out and volunteer. It's a lot of fun.
Who in fact,
Nothing else to do when you don't have any power.
who in fact was the one that got the chipper up and running?
We called in Advantage Equipment.
I would have liked to have known about that, but it's already done. I'm glad it's been taken care of, but I should have known.
You should have known? Wait, there's a difference between I would like to have known and I should have known. Why should you have known?
I mean, why shouldn't I?
You
Well,
don't need
because
to do it.
right, and it was an emergency to get it running, so.
I'm not gonna get into a debate on the computer screen here, but I think I should have been notified. It's not a big deal. Do we have an approximate cost, what it's gonna cost us? Can we get a bill? for
Probably
it?
a couple $100. A guy just came out and showed us a couple of things we didn't know, and it started right up.
Okay, do we have any old business?
Old business, you said? No, good.
Anyone else? Old business? That concludes our agenda.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry, Mayor. Forgive me for interrupting you. Does council need to vote the hours that you and I discussed for the building being open? Change to the opening schedule?
Have we already visited that? Didn't we vote on that?
No, you and I just discussed it last week. 9 to 1.
No, I thought we discussed that, when the city clerk had indicated that, the building is now gonna be opened back up, and we had already set hours of operation, and I thought that we had, it was a rather very lengthy conversation. We decided that we were gonna open up on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
No, that's not what you and I discussed last week. What we agreed to last week that.
That's
What
not,
we agreed to last week was that the building would be open to the public Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 9 to 1. And on Wednesday, 8:30 to 2:30, and then again from 4:30 to 8:30. Closed on Monday.
closed all day. And what about Tuesday? Open
Pardon?
Tuesday?
Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, open to the public 9 to 1. Wednesday, 8:30 to 2:30. We have to open early for the state inspectors. 8:30 to 2:30, and then 4:30 to 8:30.
You need to have the, Tuesday open, why not just do Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday? Or why not do Tuesday?
Mayor, you're contradicting what you said a week ago. This is what, and then, by the way, this was your idea. We agreed to this a week ago.
Not a big deal.
I've shared it with Mrs. Seelman. She's on board with it. I've shared it with other members of council.
Then we'll move forward with that. That's fine. All right. Anybody else? Make a motion to open a meeting to the public?
Are we changing, wait a minute, are we changing those hours?
Right.
Make the
Is that
motion.
what our hours will be then? Do we need to vote it? I mean, how does
Yes.
that happen?
Let's make the motion. Make the motion and we'll vote on it right now.
Are you listening, Mr. Moore?
Yes.
I make a motion that we change the hours that City Hall is open to the public to Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 4:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Can I get a second?
Second. Discussion of point two, I'm writing this down. Tuesday is gonna be what, 9 to 1?
Yes.
Thursday is gonna be 9 to 1?
Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, 9 to 1.
And going to be 30 to 30.
8:30 to 2:30 and 4:30 to 8:30.
4:30 to 8:30? About 4,
Pardon?
about 4 to 8.
Okay, how about 5 to 8?
Generally, they're here till 8 o'clock only. They don't really want to be in, staying here an extra half hour.
Okay, then how about Wednesday, 8:30 to 1 and 4 to 8?
That's fine.
Okay.
So Wednesday's going to be 8:30 to 1.
And then 4 to 8.
Yeah.
And then 4 to 8. I'll second that one.
Thank you.
This one here, I want to do a roll call.
Let me ask a question now. On Wednesday, 8:30, because inspectors come in here that early or something? Is
Yes,
Yes, they do.
and then the state inspectors that are here every Wednesday. That's fine.
that okay?
Can I have a roll call, please? Mr. Moore?
Yes, Mrs. Owens,
Yes.
Mrs. Sparks, Mr. Dilch,
Yes.
Mayor Vanessa.
Yes.
Right.
This time I'm going to make a motion to open the meeting to the public. Is there a second?
Second.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have Mrs. Casagrande who would like to speak about the city code project.
Very good. Mrs. Casper, go ahead.
She's unmuting herself. She's good.
Hi. So I had volunteered to continue to be helpful with that because, because I'm passionate about it. And I believe that my offer has been at least accepted by the law firm solicitor. Is that correct? That
I understand that Mrs. Casagrande has been working with my colleague, Rick DeLucre, in finalizing this project. It's going to take a little bit more time because it has to go through the process that General Code has, but Mrs. Casagrande's assistance has been invaluable in moving the project forward, and we appreciate it.
Thank you, Mrs. Casagrande.
Well, you're welcome, but because I have all the historical documents, and therefore I can, if I need anything, I can let them know what went on in the process. So, and if there's anything that you need to know, well, of course you'll be informed too. So, I'm excited about it. I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, Mr. DeLucre has told me he had a fine conference with you.
Good. I'm glad he said that. I'm really very pleased and enthusiastic that he's doing that work, and I think it's going to be a real benefit to the city. So
That's this benefit that you have done. It is definitely invaluable. I don't know how you had the patience to do as many hours as you did. I certainly have to commend you and the committee with you as well. Even our previous city clerk, I know all of you worked well together and you put in an enormous amount of time. So I am going to be so happy when this thing is finalized.
me too.
I'm sure you will.
And
And you're going to need another vacation.
we will help you finish this project, Mrs. Casagrande.
Great. I had that feeling. I had a really enthusiastic conversation, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else?
Yes, Mr. Pogue would like to be recognized.
Thank you. First of all, Julie, welcome. Hopefully you'll still feel that way in a few months. One thing regarding the court, Mayor Hazer of Weymouth has been rather vocal in the past about making sure that he's being included. I did not hear the mayor refer to any conversations with Mr. Hazer, so I'm just hoping that we're making sure that since I believe the contract is rather A, long-term, and B, is a joint situation that we make sure that Weymouth is involved. Otherwise, even if we have the best idea, it may not go very far. Another part is that we may want to start thinking about some strategic conversations with Atlantic City Electric. We get outages all the time, even when the weather isn't necessarily a tropical storm. And whether we need to get the same type of upgrades